Your place in life is not decided by heredity. Hello everyone. In this video we are going to discuss dihybrid cross of Mendel. Hello everyone. So today we are going to start with second experiment of Mendel, that is dihybrid cross. Di means two. So here we will take two contrasting characters and we will study the inheritance of those characters from one generation to other. Let's begin with the experiment. This experiment involves the inheritance of two pairs of contrasting characters at the same time. See, in monohybrid cross, we have taken only one character and we were considering that character only. We were studying the inheritance of that character and we concluded something, right? But here we will take two characters at the same time and by crossing between two organisms of a species. So, in one species only we will take two different characters, two different contrasting characters, and we will see how exactly they are inherent from one generation to the other generation. Now here there are certain points by which he has performed this experiment. This experiment was also having the same experimental approach that he has followed in the first one, right? What was the first step of his experimental approach? That was selection of pure parent, right? What is meant by pure? Again, pure means the parents which have homozygous traits for any particular character. Homozygous means both the traits or both the genes are completely identical. Clear? So he has considered shape and color of the seed. Now, shape of the seed. If you remember the 7 contrasting characters, then we have noted down over there that there were two types of the shapes of the seeds: round and wrinkled. Round was dominating, so we are representing round with capital R, and wrinkled was recessive, so we are representing it with small r. Clear? So he has taken one character, that is shape of the seed, and there were two contrasting traits in that, that is round and wrinkled. Other character he has taken was color of the seed. So there were two types of the seeds available, yellow and green. Yellow is dominating one, whereas green is recessive one. So likewise they are represented over here. Clear? Then he has crossed the pure line parents having round and yellow seeds with wrinkled and green seeds. So what he did exactly, he has taken both the dominating characters together. He has selected the parent that was having pure round and yellow seeds. Clear? Pure means homozygous. So that parent was homozygous for round shape of the seed and yellow color of the seed. And he crossed that particular parent with another parent which was having pure line of recessive genes, that is wrinkled and green seeds. So it will be like this: small r, so small y. Clear? When he crossed both of them, then in the first generation, as we have already studied in monohybrid cross, that in first generation only the dominating characters will get expressed. So but obvious thing is that in first generation hybrid but dominating phenomenon we will be getting. Means here round and yellow seeds we are going to get in the first generation. So their genotype will be hybrid. Hybrid means like this. The genes of the recessive traits are present, but they are not going to get expressed. Rather, they are going to get suppressed by the dominating genes. Clear? Then after the first generation plants he has raised by sowing the seeds and then allowed self-pollination between them to obtain second generation. Clear? So when the first generation was ready with him, he allowed the seeds to grow, then he allowed self-pollination amongst the plants, and then he obtained second generation, that is F2 generation. And that F2 generation was having 4 different combinations of shape and color of the seeds. Now how exactly 4 different combinations? See, already in parental trait, round and yellow, this combination was present, right? Other combination was wrinkled and green. So 2 new combinations he has obtained, that was round and green with wrinkled and yellow. So these are the 4 different combinations of shape and color of the seeds that he has obtained as a result of F2 generation. Clear? So this is the outline of his entire experiment. What he did exactly was that first he has selected the pure line of the parents and crossed them. Pure line was having round and yellow with wrinkled and green. So round yellow was crossed with wrinkled and green, and then after he has obtained the F1 generation, that was hybrid. Clear? Dominating and recessive genes got mixed up and he obtained the hybrid genotype in F1 generation, and they were expressing only the dominating characters, that is round and yellow. Then after the F1 generation was allowed to grow, it was grown, and then after he obtained the results in F2 generation. And in F2 generation he found 4 combinations of the characters, that is round yellow, wrinkled green. These are the characters which are present in the parental generation. Apart from this, he obtained 2 new combinations, that is round and green, wrinkled and yellow. Let's see with the flow chart how exactly he did his entire experiment and how he obtained this result. So let's see with the help of flow chart how exactly he has performed his experiment. As we discussed that the parents that he has selected was pure in term of that particular character which they carry, right? So this round and yellow parent was crossed with wrinkled and green. Clear? Both dominating are together, both recessive are together. At the time of gamete formation, as we are knowing that meiosis will take place, and during meiosis what will happen? The number of chromosomes will reduce to half. So here also the same thing will take place. Out of 2, only one of the gene will get inherent. So the combination in the gamete that is possible is capital R with capital Y for the dominating parent. Clear? Same with the recessive one, small r with small y. Now when both of these gametes are fused together, at that time he obtained the hybrid in terms of genes. See, phenotypically means with visible character, this particular generation, F1 generation, will be round and yellow. But they possess the genes of recessive trait or recessive character. That is why they are termed as hybrid. Clear? Up to here there will be no issue. It is just like the monohybrid cross. Same we did in monohybrid cross also, right? So the same thing is done over here in F1 generation. The law of dominance was expressed. Only the dominating genes are getting chance to express, and recessive will get suppressed by dominating genes. Now, when the selfing of F1 generation was done, at that time there were 4 types of the gametes possible, and because of that the chances of new combinations got arise. Let's see how exactly these 4 types of the gametes can be possible. One already I have written, for other parent we will do now. So this capital R can go with capital Y. So that is one possibility in the gamete. It can also go with small y, because it is not possible how exactly that particular trait is going to get inherent, whether it is always going to remain with the yellow or not, that is also not sure. So these are the possible gametes which we are making now. Same way, this small r can go with capital Y, and small r can go with small y. So total 4 types of the gametes are present. Now mother and father, or male and female, both will be having 4 types of the gametes, right? So if we will do as we were doing with the flow chart in monohybrid cross, so it will be very complicated and messy. So we are going to adopt Punnett square method. What is Punnett square method? Let's try to understand this. So now let's begin with the Punnett square method. Here we have already discussed that there are 4 possible combinations for the gametes, right? If there are 4 types of the male gametes and 4 types of the female gamete, so total possible combinations are 16. And when you are writing these 16 combinations together with the help of a flow chart, so obviously it is going to be messy work. So to make it neat and clean, we have adapted this method, that is Punnett square method. Easiest one, what we have to do is simply we have to write down this gametes on the top, as I am writing over here, right? On each column I will be writing one possible gamete. These gametes are of male, and we will be writing the gametes of female on the side of the table. So let's write that also. Done? So what we have done so far? We have simply written the gametes of the male on the top and female on the side. Now we have to combine or fuse both the gametes with each other, and then we have to predict the characteristics which are possible. Clear? So we are starting with that. Now what things we have to keep in mind? First, that the genes which denote the same character are to be written together. For example, shape of the seed. So both of them are denoting to the shape of the seed, that is round. So they are to be written together. If one dominating and one recessive are there, then the dominating one is to be written first, then the recessive one. Clear? So let's begin. Capital R and capital R together I have written. Now for color, capital Y and capital Y. What will be the phenotype of this combination? That is going to be round and yellow. Clear? So we need to mention the phenotype also. It will help us at the end to find out the phenotypic ratio. Next is capital R and capital R, capital Y and small y. So again that combination is going to be round yellow. Next, capital R and small r, capital Y and capital Y. So that combination is going to be round and yellow. See, in both of them hybrids are there, and as we are knowing that in hybrid condition only the dominating one is going to be expressed. That is why here the color will be yellow and here the shape will be round. Done. The last one, capital R small r, capital Y small y. Both are hybrid, so dominating round and yellow are going to be expressed. Clear? So one row already we have finished. Let's begin with the other. In the same way we have to do, but we have to take care of the gametes that we have written on the side and on the top. Only those are to be combined. Clear? So capital R, capital Y, small y. Capital R, small y. Capital R, capital Y, small y. Capital R, small y, small y. Then in next, capital R, capital Y, capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. Small r, capital Y, small r, capital Y and small y. Next, capital R, capital Y and small y. Capital R, small y and small y. Small r, capital Y and small y. Small r, small y and small y. So this is how we have to finish the entire table, right? We have to see the gametes on the top and on the side, and then we have to fuse them. While fusing, we have to take care that the traits or the genes of the same character are to be written together. Then if one dominating and one recessive is there, then dominating is to be written first, then the recessive one. Now let's begin with the phenotype. So here it is going to be round and yellow because hybrid, so dominating. Then round and green. Why green? Because both small y are together and both recessive will get expressed only in homozygous condition, so it is going to be green. Then round and yellow. Round and green. Next, round and yellow. Round and yellow. See, both small r are together. Then wrinkled because homozygous recessive and yellow. Here also same, wrinkled and yellow. Next, round and yellow. round and green, wrinkled and yellow, and last one is wrinkled and green. So we have written phenotype, right? Now we have to count how many of which particular combination we are getting here. So let's begin with the round and yellow. Round and yellow are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So total we are getting 9 round and yellow out of 16. Then the next combination, round and green. So round and green are 1, 2 and 3. Clear? Next combination is wrinkled and yellow. So they are 1, 2 and 3. And the last combination is wrinkled and green, that is only 1. So here we got the phenotypic ratio of F2 generation, that is 9:3:3:1. Out of this, 9 are round and yellow, 1 is wrinkled and green. These 2 are parental characters. In parental generation, these combinations were already there, and this 2 we got new combination, that is of round and green, wrinkled and yellow. Clear? So this is how we have to find out the phenotypic ratio. I have noted down the phenotypic ratio here. Round and yellow, this was parental trait. Wrinkled and green, this one was also parental trait. And these are the new combination, that is round green, wrinkled and yellow. And the ratio is 9:3:3:1. This ratio you need to remember because it is most important with regard to your exam. Clear? In examinations, they are going to ask you the phenotypic ratio for dihybrid cross, not genotypic. Genotypic we are going to discuss, but they are never asking it. They are only asking the phenotypic ratio of F2 generation. So you need to remind it 9:3:3:1. That is the possible ratio. Now genotypic ratio is too big. That is why they are never asking. See, both dominating together, one dominating, one recessive, then other two dominating. Again both dominating. Likewise, whatever possible combinations were there, all these possible combinations are written over here. And the ratio that we obtained is 1:2:2:4:1:1:2:1:2:1. Tedious, right? So that is why they are never going to ask you the genotypic ratio of F2 generation for dihybrid cross. Clear? Now, what was the conclusion and which principle was proposed by Mendel based on this particular experiment? Based on his experimentation, he has given the law, that is law of independent assortment. This one is also known as second law of inheritance. Now, according to this law, whenever two or more pairs of contrasting traits are inherited, they are inherited in such a way that a particular trait is independent of other. A bit confusing. Let me explain to you. See, this was the parental combination, round and yellow, right? After the experiment, now we are very well aware of that it is not mandatory that whenever the seeds are going to be round, they will remain yellow only, right? It means these two traits at the time of gamete formation can go together, cannot go together. Both possibilities are there. That is why he told that the traits are independent from one another at the time of inheritance. Clear? Same thing we saw in F1 generation. See, this was F1 generation. Now here both dominating can go together. One dominating and one recessive, like that possibility was also there, and both the recessive together, like that also possibility was there. So he told that for two or more pairs of contrasting traits, whenever they are inherited, so they will inherit in such a way that particular trait will be independent of the other trait. Clear? Try other combinations on your own. Read the chapter thoroughly and take care of yourselves.